Hello and welcome to our cottage garden. I am so excited because spring is finally here in Vermont, Zone 5A, if any of you are curious about where our garden is. Look here, we have our porch bed and the forget-me-nots are just in their full glorious bloom. I think the forget-me-nots paired with this beautiful Claudia tulip, which is that gorgeous pointed lily flowering tulip, along with the purple and pink pride mix, with the forget-me-nots underneath, just like whispers of the most gorgeous blue, is so stunning. It's like a little wispy river running through our flower beds. I love it. And through our lawns and all over the place. It is just so stunning. So all of these forget-me-nots, every single one, I gathered from around our property. They were just wild and I started putting them into the beds and they've just spread so beautifully and they look fantastic with all of our early spring bulbs. I'm so happy. So we have gone really heavy on the pink and purple pride mix. And I actually am really glad that we did that. They are so tall. The pride mix in general, all of them, the apricot prides, the red prides, they're all just very statuesque, very tall. They really stand up well to rain, which we've been getting a lot of. They're so gorgeous and charming. And I think they work so well with all of those bright, zingy spring colors. So we have them all throughout our cottage beds. We've done them from the front of our cottage garden all the way to the front door. We've wrapped them around the back of this long border here and kind of peppered in another variety throughout. And I think the variety that we did throughout is called Whimsical. I could be misremembering that, but if I am, I'll put the name of it on the screen here for you. But it's this really beautiful, like pale yellow tulip, and they bloomed at the same time. So I did that properly. But yeah, I just think that's so fun. And kind of accidentally, I think I might have been aware of it, but accidentally in terms of the purchase, we've ended up with a real sweet shop look at the front of the cottage. And sometimes that might look a little bit garish or feel a little bit, I don't know, but I'm obsessed. It's like after a long winter and when you're just craving that color, I say just go for it. Absolutely go for it. Okay, so last year I was talking about how I had found a few different colored forget-me-nots and I was gathering them and spreading them into our borders because when I was in the north of France last year in Giverny in Monet's garden, I found a bunch, like a sea of pink forget-me-nots. I became obsessed and I wanted to find one, and then I found one on our property. It was just growing in the woodlands. So I transferred one of them. There were a few. I transferred one of them and placed it here. And you guys, I don't know if you can see that from a distance, but it is so gorgeous. Just this pink little spray of happiness. And next to the blue, it's so beautiful out. All of our perennials are coming up. This is one of my favorite times of year, early May, because when the perennials come up and they're in these just little coral-like mounds of foliage, they just warm my heart. And it just makes me so excited. There's so much potential at this time of year. It feels like the earth is undulating with energy. And it's just my favorite. The interesting thing is that the soft yellow of these tulips, they darken as they age to this rich kind of orange color. And that's really nice as well. So it's like, you know, with each day you get a different color on those tulips. Actually, do you want to go ahead and do the punk now?
Let's do it.
So you might see some smoke in the camera as well while he holds his. I like both of ours.
Thank you, baby.
So these are, yeah, of course, these are punks. They're like incense sticks with essential oils on them, and they keep the black flies from getting in your ears and in your eyes and up your nose, which is my personal favorite. They smell really nice though. Here you go.
Thanks,
Can I give you that?
Yeah.
Thanks. So we planted, I think, 40 or 50 muscari bulbs along this little path here. And they've all come up and they're so cute. They look like little purple mushrooms, the way that they grow out of the soil. They're really, really sweet. There are some other things over there that we can show you, like lamium and things like that. And our clematis is actually all butted up against the house, which is so fun. But why don't we come over here to the cobblestone pathway so I can show you the snowflakes that are lining our driveway. Maybe, do you want to come over this way maybe? That might be easier. So before we start at the front of the long borders, I wanted to show you a few things here on our hillside. The first one is this beautiful star magnolia. It just looks so glorious, like little dancers, like floating in the breeze. I think it's so charming. And we've gotten so much rain, so the fact that that many petals are still on it, those many blossoms, it's just so nice. And there's something about the architecture of each bloom that just, they look very in motion. They look very in flow, which is just a very cool thing to have. And then we have this little mini bed here right by our gate that has a bunch of ferns in it. And I just love that. I think unfurling fern fronds are one of the most gorgeous early spring kind of occasions in the garden. They're so zingy with life. They look like moth antennae, I think. It's like these fuzzy, beautiful, thick, gorgeous, furling fern fronds. Say that 10 times fast. And then we have all of our lilacs here that were here when we moved in. But yeah, I think I kind of want to just show you like a before of what this looked like when we first moved in, so you can kind of see the comparison. Because it really is a big difference in terms of the garden. And I'm so excited for everything that we've done. Even this year, we have a very exciting update in the backyard to share with you. We're probably not going to show you in this video, but we might give you a little sneak peek because it's mid-project. But yeah, these borders, I don't know, for me, I just feel like everything has happened. It's like I went to bed and I woke up and it was spring in a real way. It was only like a few weeks ago, it was like covered in snow. I don't know. Yeah, weather, but it's like, that is crazy to me. And we were wearing coats and things like that just a few weeks ago. But it's just gorgeous. I love it so much. Our ivory halo dogwoods are doing so well. One funny thing about the pink and purple pride mix, because we went so heavy on that, like I said, again, it goes all the way up to the front of the front of the cottage, and it flanks our cobblestone pathway. And it's, pink and purple, which goes with our color scheme here, which is sort of soft colors, very gentle soft colors, white, pink, purple, blue. And it's the kind of the thing that was interesting was we came out one morning and they were all red. I mean, some of them looked a little bit like a softer red, but they were all red, like they were bright red. And we were kind of like, ew, what do we do here? So if you plant the pink and purple pride mix tulip, just know that they might come out red for you, but then they really soften in a day. That happened in a day. So just to warn you, that might happen, but not to worry. They do start to kind of pale out and they just look very cheerful to me. Oh, one of the things I absolutely love is all of these snowflakes, these summer snowflakes. Aren't those just gorgeous? These little fairy lanterns. This one is in particular here. Excuse me, let me make sure. And see that? Like little fairy lanterns flanking our cobblestone pathway. I just love them. They're so delicate. They really make me happy. And at dusk, white, pale yellow, soft violet, those are the last colors that our eye can detect as the sun is setting. So having those along a pathway, it kind of is like having solar lights in a way, because they really do shine out and they let you know where the path is. Not that you would have any issues with that against this, because you can see this very clearly in the dark. But aren't those gorgeous? And our fritillaries are still here. Our snake's head fritillaries are still here. Beautiful checkered flowers. These two together, I think, are such fairy garden flowers. They're just exquisite. Our sedum, our autumn joys have come back beautifully. Echinacea's coming back. I mean, there's just so many things happening. I transplanted a lot of Shasta daisies, another one that grows wild here. These beautiful white daisies. I've grown a bunch from seed. I transplanted a bunch from the property. I just love those daisy flowers. They're so cheerful. So we're very lucky. We get wild forget-me-nots, wild daisies, wild foxgloves. We have a lot of these really beautiful plants that just grow wild here in our woodlands. So collecting those and putting those through the borders, as well as violas as well, they grow here. is just so much fun. And we have those all throughout. So I had transplanted them from the front of the border last year. They were kind of a little bit floppy in a bunch of rain that we get at this time of year. And so I transplanted them into the back and I realized we had some gaps. So I filled those in and those are already budded up, which is really fun. We have tons of boom chocolate geraniums that are coming back beautifully. My favorite, Nepeta, is just coming back beautifully. Not my favorite variety of Nepeta, but just my Nepeta is one of my favorite plants. All of our lamium is in bloom. And those beautiful, like lip-shaped flowers are just so stunning and fantastic for bees and for pollinators. It's this really gorgeous purple flower here. They are just these stalks of beauty. They're so gorgeous. And a lot of lamium, it's the silvery color, this one here, and it stays green throughout most of the winter, which is fantastic. And right next to that is one of the daisies that I transplanted recently, all budded up, and our penstemon here. It's a really, oh, excuse me. Oh. The fairy roses want some attention. They are gorgeous. These gorgeous, they almost look like panicles of rose buds because they just come out on these branches that just, they're so gorgeous. These little tiny, like teacup roses. They're so fun, really gorgeous, but those are pokey. Like if you have an issue with that, I would say maybe steer clear, but they're such wonderful landscape roses. They're fabulous. Our baptisia has grown so much, like a matter of days. Let me get you situated there, buddy. Our baptisia is all budded up. Looking so good. Here's something that's funny. These tulips here, I thought they were the pink and purple prides at first because they had all come up red like this. And then these just stayed that way. So I think I might kind of come through maybe after this tour and just kind of cut back the red ones and just leave it with all these softer colors. But I don't know, I still like the color. What do you think? Do you want to get rid of them? Cut them back?
We could make a little vase of them.
Yeah, enjoy them inside maybe. But there's tons of different varieties of tulips here that we brought over from the other garden. Our hellebores are still looking gorgeous. That soft pale pink is just so lovely. And our peonies are all budded up. This is early, very early to see peony buds, and all of our peonies are budded up in the back there. So that's really very encouraging and really exciting because maybe the budworms won't get to them. You know?
Yeah.
So we'll see. And over here we have another one of my favorite plants. Probably my all-time favorite plant is this spessart geranium. It's so glorious. It smells incredible. The leaves do. It spreads and takes on wonderfully. So if you live in Vermont, if you live in the Northeast and you live on a mountain or you live in a woodland or you live in this area, I would suggest this plant so much. It does pretty well in the sun, although if it's in full sun, we have to keep it a little bit more moist, the soil around it. But it does so well in every location. Beautiful ivory colored flowers, which should be budding up now, actually. They usually bloom later this month. Oh yes, we have buds. Do you see that? That little pink bud. That's gonna be so pretty. And they just spread so beautifully. You can divide them wonderfully. Just a fantastic plant if you're looking for something like that. More of our lamium here is in bloom. Again, this is the one that just didn't come back very well. And my question for you about it is lamium one of those that kind of has a shorter life cycle? Like some lavender has a short, like maybe 4 to 5 years. Is that the case here, or is this guy just really not happy? I think I might transplant him to see, or kind of divide him and transplant him and see if that helps. But here we have our phlox. This is a woodland phlox and it's called Blue Moon, another one that I cannot recommend enough. So see this beautiful soft periwinkle color and periwinkle shape bloom as well. It has that with this soft green foliage. If you struggle with powdery mildew and iron issues like we do here, like rust issues, then this is a fantastic phlox. So you can get that phlox interest without having them suffer from those things like rust and powdery mildew. It's never gotten that for us. It smells, let me put the incense this way. Oh my gosh, it smells incredible. It starts to bloom really right when the hyacinths go over. So it kind of replaces that scent here because we have hyacinths all along the front of this border. And that's so fantastic. Oh my gosh, it's just, isn't it just one of the most heavenly scents? It's amazing. I love our ajuga here. What a brilliant ground cover. This is the Burgundy Glow ajuga here. And it is gorgeous and it is a wonderful ground cover. It does spread pretty quickly, not as vigorously as the lamium does for us, but it's been a couple of years now and it's really, really taken over this area. Beautiful spires of gorgeous blue against that burgundy, deep, rich purple leaf is really, really nice. Leaves have softened out to sort of a sagey green at this point, but they're just very rosy at this point, but in a few weeks, those are all going to be blooming and they bloom this blue color, which is really beautiful with the blue moon phlox, which is in front of it. So we have the phlox on either side. All of our cottage garden is sort of a lot of repetition of plants and a lot of everything is close together, very abundant. And then that repetition of plants kind of goes all the way down to the front of the cottage. So blue moon phlox on either side, kind of staggered a little bit to give it some interest and flow. Our strawberries, we still have some ground cover strawberries in here. And we leave a lot of these for the chipmunks, but I think those white flowers of the strawberries are really charming and they both have been pollinated successfully. So they have some strawberries on there, which is exciting too. One for me, one for you. Maybe we have another for Georgie. Oh, let's see. So we decided to put the apricot pride tulips here underneath our hydrangea standards. And I just like having something at the end of the pathway that just sort of pulls you down. And this is just such a lovely, lovely tulip. As you can see, I love the pride tulips. They have to really hold up to our weather here. Sometimes we can get snow in, April and May, hopefully not. So we won't say it too loud. Don't wake up Murphy. But so those pride tulips really do stay up strong in our weather, the like torrents of rain or the snow. So I'm just really, really happy that they like it here as much as I like them because they're just gorgeous. I'm going to tiptoe across our lawn. No, we just spread some grass seed here because it was just patchy before. So here is one of my favorite plant combinations. So if you're making notes, I've been trying to do this through each of our tours, is just to say, if you're making notes on these videos of what kind of combinations or plants you want to play around with, this combination is one I would put on the list. And it is the Pulmonaria. You can do a different lungwort. This one is has a green leaf with those beautiful spots on the leaves. And it gets these really long strappy leaves in season. But at the beginning of the season in the spring, it just comes out with these like beautiful little filler leaves, these small little leaves that are so charming. The plants have, the early blooms are pink. Then they mellow out to purple and then blue, and they are just glorious in combination with this beautiful purple prince parrot tulip. And so the combination of that, the purple and pink of this lungwort, this pulmonaria, the purple and pink of this pulmonaria with the purple Prince parrot tulip is really exquisite. I can't stress that enough. If you live in an area like I do, or I think a lot of areas, the purple prince comes back really well for us. It's probably the only tulip, aside from our scarlet babies, our really early ones, that has come back reliably year after year. Really fantastic and stunningly beautiful. There's like lots of purple ones in here. I bet this is the best purple that we planted. That one usually comes up later for us. Same, the Spessart geranium there. We transplanted loads of the astilbe that were on our property here in this border, and it just looks so beautiful. It's those gorgeous purple spires of blooms in August. Lots of these are starting to come up, which look wonderful. This is an Angelique tulip. Very pretty. We have some hostas and things that are coming up. I never show this side of the bed, so I'm going to be better about this this year. So this is how this side of our bed looks. We just planted some heucheras here. There's the pink parrot, the purple parrot tulip there. Some Shasta daisies over here that I started from seed. These two little clumps that I think I should probably divide. We have a Pinky Winky hydrangea, which is the same as the Pinky Winky hydrangea standards outside the door. Here we have this astilbe, this lovely hosta, which something nibbled it. How tragic. Okay, that's all right. And then we have so much lily of the valley. If you have a new garden space or you have an area that's a little bit more kind of confined, but you want to fill it up quickly, that's a great plant for that, although it does spread very aggressively, as you can see. It spreads through the lawn and stuff, but I think it's a very abundant lush look. In the next week, I bet, which I think we're going to do a garden tour next week as well. Thank you for all of your comments on what kind of content you want to see. It's so helpful for us. So when you were suggesting or requesting that I create more videos on specific plants, and I love doing that. I have a lot of those videos that are already on my video list. So thank you for requesting that and kind of letting me know what kind of content you want to see. It really does help me to create content that's helpful for you, hopefully inspiring in some way. So anyway, thank you for that. But here's a little specimen that I think is so fantastic. This is a white bleeding heart. Again, like adding to that list of like quintessential spring cottage garden flowers, like bleeding heart, absolutely on that list, dicentra, and then this gorgeous Brennera. This one's a little bit more sparse. We had a Brennera that was in the front of our cottage, like right underneath the Pinky Winky hydrangeas that bloomed so beautifully in the spring, but we had to move it and divide it because it just got burned by the sun. So we divided that and put that into our dining garden, and hopefully it's much happier there throughout the season. But this combination of the Brennera with the white bleeding heart specifically, because the center of the Brennera, also called like giant forget-me-not because of those beautiful daisy-like blooms, is white, and so that pairs so beautifully with the white bleeding heart. So that's a combination I would definitely suggest as well. Definitely try that one. I love how everything just kind of spills over the cobblestones. These are all rocks that we dug up from the property, obviously, and put on the sides of the path just to make use of them. And in our last tour, these hadn't come out yet. So while a lot of our daffodils are going over, these beautiful thalias are just really coming into their own, and they're so romantic, kind of similar to that magnolia, the star magnolia, where they just look like they're in motion, even when they're still. They just have this I think it's because the petals each have their own kind of personality with that, it's that soft ivory color, and then the beautiful miniature cup, and just how dainty and delicate they are. They're just very whimsical. Add those to your spring fairy garden list. So we're kind of doing a collection here. You've got thalia daffodils, you've got white bleeding hearts, you've got Brennera, forget-me-nots, let's put those on there. You've got the snake's head fritillary, you've got the snowflakes. It's coming together. This is the easy daisy, and they really have been quite easy. I'm excited about these. They've been really, really fun. Oh, our Alchemilla mollis. We divided this and spread it throughout this border. So we have one here, one there that's quite large, and one over there. Oh, our Jacob's ladder is about to bloom, and so is our tiarella. I love tiarella so much. This is our Jacob's ladder Polemonium. So beautiful. It's called that because of the pinnate leaves on either side, like a ladder, climbing up to the heavenly blue color of those gorgeous, soft, romantic flowers, bell-shaped flowers. So, so lovely. These tulips look amazing. They're like fringe. like cowboy fringe on the outside. I'll have to show you those next week when they open, because in bud form, they're pretty neat looking. More apricot pride spread throughout. Oh, this is a daffodil actually I wanted to tell you about. I didn't think this came back for us, but this is the Salome daffodil, very romantic, and it's that apricot color. So that one actually, if that does well for you in your garden, it would work so beautifully in an area where you have the topsy-turvy daffodils, which have that apricot color, because it blooms like just a hair later than that. And so there's a crossover of about a week or so for us, depending on the way the weather is each year. And it's sort of a similar apricot color in the center, really gorgeous. The tiarella is so pretty. Some violas that I planted from seed last year. So we still haven't done our trellis here yet. We haven't put that up yet. But that's in the there's a lot of things going on. We've been working like nonstop on the project in the backyard. But here we have this beautiful pinky pollen ring lace cap hydrangea. And I cut it back when we were doing our spring chores, kind of the foundations of a beautiful garden video. And I said, oh, I'll probably come in and cut this back even more because these are the same plant. So this is just one that I found later on and put in here. But the thing is that I really just can't bring myself to cut it back. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful specimen. The shape of it is insane. It's so gorgeous. I can see it from where I work right there. And the pollinators love it so much. I just can't bring myself to cut it back. So we're gonna have to be a little lopsided this year. I think this will grow up well, but we'll just have to be patient because I don't have the heart to cut that back even more. So in here we have our beautiful, this is a primula, and it's just a gorgeous yellow color. I think these are also called cowslips, but they're just so beautiful. We saw these all around the French countryside, and they're just so lovely, really fuzzy stem there, really lovely. Some more forget-me-nots, more tulips and things coming up in here in our dining garden. Our forsythia is still going, and you guys, it's like one of the best things to put in a vase. It just lasts forever and ever. It's also a really fantastic one to make a wreath out of, to put, if you have some kind of, a mantelpiece or something, putting it as a spring mantelpiece is so beautiful. It just is gorgeous, kind of spreading it through maybe a chandelier that you have. Just wonderful. But everything is doing so well. Our stilbes took beautifully. The heuchera took beautifully. More of that geranium that I love, the spessart geranium here, is just probably looking the happiest of all the transplants. Just looking really gorgeous. It smells so lovely. It's such a nice plant, you guys. I hope you love it. The Pulmonaria here is doing really well. This is the one I was talking about that we divided here. Really pretty, and they start out with these really soft, silvery heart-shaped leaves that just get bigger and bigger throughout the season. I love it. And here are the tiarella. This is all the Iris reticulata foliage. But I love these little tiarella blooms. They look like grape hyacinths, like pink grape hyacinths, but just like little grape bunches. And then in here, it's looking, things are happening. All of our Nepeta has come back beautifully. The lily of the valley has come back and it's spreading throughout beautifully. We're gonna be putting some hydrangeas in here. Our viburnum is doing really well. Now, this has never bloomed for us. And I thought at first it's because we had moved it so many different times for different reasons. But, now it's been in this spot for a few years and I'm not seeing any buds, so we'll wait on that. But I'm definitely gonna keep it. I might not keep it in the front of the border. I might move it back a little bit if it's not gonna bloom, because it would be a lovely shrub to have back there in the back, and then maybe fill this with some more beautiful things. But I love the leaves. They're very detailed. They look like a sketch, very deep ridges and leaves, veins and leaves. So these tulips here, I planted the first fall that we moved in. We moved in October, and we planted these tulips. It was a combination, a little mix that was called, I think, Halloween. And it was Queen of the Night and these orange tulips. And that was a really fun little experiment. We planted them along here. I'm not entirely sure why we did that instead of planting them in the border, but they're really fun. And the orange ones have come back every single year. This is dark orange, which is fun. It does like pull you down into the dining garden. Oh my gosh, look. So these are the Rococo tulips, proven winners tulip, and they are spectacular. I love Rococo, the Rococo time period. I love the architecture. I really love the furniture and things from that period. And so it's just fun to see. I think that's what they're called. I think they're called Rococo something or other. And then we have this epimedium, such a fantastic one. Just very delicate and dainty and beautiful. Okay, add this to the list of fairy garden, romantic, whimsical cottage garden plants. Beautiful soft pink on the tops of the plants. Of the flowers, sorry, and then on the underside is just this creamy white. And so they just have this very pearly appearance in the garden, kind of violet and pearl, very beautiful. And then again, heart-shaped leaves that are the size of my pinky finger, the little tiny leaves. And they have paint splatters of red on them, so beautiful. Some other purple tulips that we have. These lungworts were the first perennials to bloom this spring, and they're just doing really well. The blooms are starting to fade, but looking gorgeous. Oh, I'm so bummed these are closing up for the night. These violas, so spectacular. Look at that bumble. Hi, friend. Okay, let me hold this away from you. They are just incredible plants. I love them. I love how they look, just kind of spilling out of those stones. It just looks really charming to me. Oh, more of our hostas are coming up. Hosta. Ooh. Branch. No, not branch, pointer. Hosta. Okay, what else do we have here? Oh, no. Okay, so we've got a few though. 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm seeing 4 hostas. I'm sure we'll have more coming up. Our Hakana clovers are looking beautiful. This, I can tell, is probably gonna get annoying. This pointer. All of our daffodils here are looking gorgeous. And this is playing with that design idea of allowing yellow to be at the end of the border. So it really gives that illusion that your border just kind of carries on forever. And having the yellow forsythia on either end and daffodils on either end of the border make it feel wider. And these make it feel like it just carries on forever as you're standing over there. I'm not sure how it translates on camera, but in person it really does have that effect of just like, wow, it just keeps going. So now I want to talk to you about the back garden. Okay, so
We can show a little bit of
we
it.
can show a little bit. All right,
Cleared it out a little.
let's put out our punks because we're coming out of the garden now. We're going to put these out and then we'll have a little chat. I'm not going to tell you too much because I don't want to give anything away because we're going to be doing a video all about it. But for a while now, we've been wanting to create a very whimsical, if you love English gardens, you'll love this one. And yeah, let's show you a little bit of some of the hardscape that we've been doing, which is why we've been doing for the past 3 days. We started 3 days ago and we're pretty far along, but both of our hands and fingers and bodies are just like so sore from all of the little details that we've been doing. But I'll show you. I'm excited about it. I think it's so exciting. Anytime you embark on a new project, it's just really exciting. So obviously ignore the pile and ignore all the piles of rocks and things, but that's a general idea. There are lots of daffodils in right now, but it's very exciting. And it's just the start of the backyard garden. And it's just gonna be such a wonderful place to just sit and look at the woodland and take it all in, and that's the sunniest spot of our garden. So I think we're gonna go heavy on lots of medicinal plants there. Really fun. It's gonna have to be deer resistant because it's on the outside of our fence, but stay tuned for that. Do subscribe because we'll be uploading that in the next few weeks here, probably. We wanna make sure we get all the plants in that we need. It's been such a fun, haven't you had a good time with it? Yeah, he's going, yes. It's been so fun putting it together and just kind of dreaming together about it. We love working together on projects. It's just one of our favorites, how we kind of connected. So, but now I want to show you our kitchen garden, which is where it's our veggie patch. It's where we have a lot of our tulips for this year. We planted them last fall and we call them the birthday beds because we usually go and get discount bulbs on my birthday and plant them all up. So let's go see. We did 12 different beds and I haven't seen them since they started. I don't think I've seen them since the last tour, maybe. It's been like over a week. So let's go over there and see how they're looking. I think I can see some color. And I don't have my glasses on, so that's saying something. Okay, Bert told me to close my eyes or shield my eyes, so here we go. Oh, they're in bloom. Oh, there's a few that haven't made it up yet, but it looks so charming back here. Oh, I love them. What is this pink one? We'll have to go back and refer to that video. I think that video is like our least watched video. So if you wanted to go and check that out, I don't know why no one watched it. But oh my gosh, I'm just gonna smell, not taste, some of that lemon balm. So good. Our oregano is coming back. So is our sage. These are lovely. This is definitely the pink and purple pride mix. You can tell. Purple, pink. In some lights and stuff, it's kind of hard to tell. This is a beautiful soft pink. I love that. This looks like the El Nino mix. And I think it's paired with something different because these look pink. But I remember we kind of had to cobble it together, a few of these beds. Let's see. These ones are really pretty. Another soft pink. That looks similar to those ones. Maybe these are the pink and purple prides, but just mostly pink. Those are really pretty, aren't they? Oh, what are you? Oh, there's like a beautiful little soft fuzzy green moth in here. Oh, he's like in the curl of the petal. I don't want to bother him, but I'll use my pointer. Here, he's right there. Oh, it's a butterfly. It's not a moth. It's a butterfly. Oh my goodness. She's gorgeous. Do you see these ones look like parrots, and it could be a disease maybe. I don't know, maybe it's not a great thing. But when they have those leaves, those outer petals, did you see the butterfly? When they have the outer petals that have some of the glaucous foliage kind of mixed in with the petals, almost like creating a sepal. See that? I think that looks like a bird. I think it's so beautiful. You know what I mean? That's lovely. I think the chippers are behind us. Hiya. Hiya. Yellow with one rogue red, which I think these were our red beds last year. So that must have just been one that we left from last year. These soft little pale daffodils here in the back of this area, those are really sweet. Little daffodils. I don't know what that variety is. Let's see. Raspberries are looking happy. Let me see. These are really prickly. Any buds on them yet? Oh, that's prickly. Not yet. This is the Boyne raspberry. There are some reds and what looks like angeliques here. That's definitely going to be a double tulip. So we'll see how that looks. What do you think about it in here? Are you glad we did it? It looks very peaceful and charming, doesn't it? That bed over there I know is white ones. We went rogue in these beds. Look at this. Pink and then, oh no, this is another one that's coming up from last year. Because this was the El Nino bed. That's lovely. El Nino is like this orangey yellow color with like splashes of red. It kind of looks like an artist's studio where someone just took a handful of red and just went like a Pollock painting. Really fun. But this is another very pretty pink color. richer than that pink. Kind of similar to that pink. Those white ones look gorgeous. This yellow, again, that's been repeated here is really nice. It has some green coming up the center of those petals, and it looks like it's combined with a purple, a later blooming purple. These ones are fun. They have little squiggly foliage. That's fun. I like that. I like when plants like, you know, tulips and things like that have some kind of different quality, not just to their buds and their blooms, but to their shape, their habit, to their leaves. That's really, really fun. Okay. Well, it is just such a glorious day. I think we showed you pretty much everything. What a fun time. Again, I think we are definitely going to continue to do sort of weekly or maybe every week and a half garden tours, just because it's so nice to kind of keep track of things. I love just strolling through the garden and just sort of chatting about things, you know, as they come up. It's a nice way of reviewing what's in the garden, reminding myself of what's here and seeing where it is at each stage in the season. It's a nice way to come back and sort of plan out, okay, this area could use some color during this week of the year. You know, what perennial does really well, you know, early May, what perennial is doing well, middle of April. Those, you know, those things are helpful to kind of have an understanding, a broader understanding, sort of a soft gaze of your garden, so that you know better what spaces need to be filled. And that way, if you watch something like this, hopefully you can figure out what it can be filled with. Hopefully there are things here that we showed you and that we talked about that maybe are new to you, or maybe you've seen them but you haven't tried them, or maybe you've tried them and you're like, that does not work well in our garden. I'd love to hear all of that down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you're not already. It really does help out our little channel. It's just the two of us hanging out, and we will see you again in the next one. Okay? Bye, and bye to you, black flies, hopefully for the season. You say goodbye, and I say hello.